Rumpier Sports NFL preseason show on a Sunday morning, 3-man booth here for this 2-game NFL preseason slate. Got the guys, Rubio Dimes and Bruce, back with us today, ready to break down this 2-game NFL preseason slate. But, I got to start off with, the historic moment that I know Rubio Dimes was probably just all over going nuts when the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker hit a 70-yard field goal. Rubio, were you on your roof with a towel, just going nuts after?
I don't send a lot of highlights to people, JSU, because I don't, if you see a dunk, you'll see it on Twitter or whatever. If you see a good play, I sent that to all my family members. I sent it into the group chat time, and I'm like, look at this guy. Look at Cam Little. Cam Little is a stud. You got to remember the name Cam Little. Hell, I didn't even really care for the name until yesterday. It's 70 yards, JSU. Screw it being preseason. That's going to be the bar now. I think we're going to see Brandon Aubrey try and do that in a game this season as well. So, I was going pretty nuts after that, JSU. You can't lie.
70 yards. Honestly, are we going to get we need to get special fantasy points for 70+ yards, right? Because it's 50+ is the thing right now, I think.
Yeah, they should have a 60. They should have a 70. They should give kickers more points. That's what we need. And we need more defensive points as well. Tackles for loss should be a point. Really just spice up the special teams defense. They don't get enough love on DraftKings.
Yeah, for showdowns, that would be crazy, because if these teams do start attempting 70-yarders, that's a weapon right there. If you can have a guy who can hit a 70-yard field, that's a
just think of the new touchback rule. All right, 15 yards is all you need if they kick it through the end zone at the end of a half. And look, it sounds dumb, it sounds crazy, but now that the ball's not at the 20, not at the 25 anymore, because 15 years ago it was at the 20. The last 10 years has been at the 25. Then they put it at the 30. Now we're at the 35. Offenses are going to score more points because they just keep moving that ball forward, especially at the start drives. And I don't know if I could be wrong here, but Bruce, I feel like we're getting a ton of high-scoring games in the preseason, and I don't know if the rule change at least has been a larger effect than I would have thought.
Yeah, and that's they've had it in the UFL for a little while, and it seems like the some of the scoring in those games have been pretty high as well. So I think it's a positive change, at least. I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it in the preseason.
We're definitely going to see more big kick returns too, just in general, more big plays off the kick returns and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they adjust with all that stuff. But you see, that's a pro host right there. Nothing got Rubio more pumped for this slate than talking about Cam Little's 70-yard field goal. Bruce, I know what I'm doing right now as the host. Rubio was tired. He was telling us before, he's I woke up 20 minutes ago. I hit the snooze on my alarm 7 different times. So I knew I had to get him going. And that's how you do it right there. You just talk about a 70-yard field goal.
The best part, JSU, I had zero idea what direction you were going in there. I had zero idea.
The best part of these shows, in my opinion, is that there's no script. So, literally, you have no idea where I'm going to start. And my whole goal is to just throw you off by not starting with the actual slate at hand and starting with something that happened prior that has nothing to do with this current slate, because I love just fucking with people. But what's going on, everyone in the chat? OG Mans fan 69, let's fucking go. Coach Sav, good morning to you. Chris as well. We got the Bruce chant going from Steve. Like and subscribe, definitely smash that like. Richie Smalls, appreciate you. Our resident Eagles fan K Reed in the chat. Got it rolling today, guys. We'll answer your questions in the chat as we go through this 2-game NFL preseason slate. We would appreciate that like and subscribe on the video, as this is a Sunday morning free preseason show for you guys. We appreciate the likes and the subscribes. Good morning to you as well, sir. We're going to get it rolling here in a second. Before we do, though, I just want to throw this one out there. You guys, obviously, content all throughout the day yesterday for the big slate and all the games that were going on. I don't know how much football you guys got to watch. But like Rubio, besides the 70-yard kick, who was one guy that impressed you yesterday from all the games? If you just had to pick out like one guy, quarterback, doesn't matter. Just like any guy that you were just like pleasantly surprised played well.
Jackson Dart. I thought Dart looked really good. And I know that was the opening slate. And I just kind of want to give a shout out to K. Reed. K. Reed had a really good chance to take down a few contests late. And I know that a lot of Rumpier Sports members, like Bruce, you talked about that Houston tight end room. We just got too much Brevin Jordan. That's kind of what kind of did us in a little bit. But we had a lot of logos up top. I know K. Reed turned $100 into $1,100, or a 10x there, and it was really good to see it. A lot of members there late. Even the night slate. I mean, it didn't go perfect, but still plenty of chances to make money. And I know I saw VIP was up there late, got a top 10. I think he got 9th, and he had Dallas double stacks. And that Milton drive where he got hurt and Will Greer ended up taking the touchdown, I know that hurt plenty of us. But yeah, I mean, I would say Jackson Dart, JSU. He was the one who kind of looked really good, really comfortable. Great deep ball to Lil Jordan Humphrey. That same game, too, I thought Frank Gore Jr., not to shout him out or anything like that, almost got into the end zone at the end of the game. But the pass catching ability from, those running backs that we had in that game were a lot of fun. That was the one game that I kind of focused on. And then I focused on Cowboys-Rams, where, hell, even Stetson Bennett did okay. And you know what? Good for Stetson Bennett. He's a winner, and, he's done it now, in college. And hopefully he'll probably never get a chance to be a full-time starter in the NFL, but it's still good to see.
That's a good point, though. You brought up about like the smaller slates yesterday in the early slates and stuff like that. It's one of the many reasons why you should sign up and be a member at Rumpier Sports, because you guys are covering those slates. Even if we don't do shows specifically for them on a day-to-day, the info is still there. The content's up for those slates. You guys are putting out projections and cores and everything for those things. So, if you're not in the Discord, if you're not a member, you're not getting that. So it's just one of many reasons we don't take the slate off just because it's smaller. You still get your content. Check us out. We got the premium package for NFL already out if you want the single sport package, or you could just do the Rumpier premium if you want all the sports. You can get in on all the winners. Check us out over at rumpiersports.com and get in the Discord too. Make sure when you sign up, you get in that Discord. Bruce, same question to you. Who was one guy that surprised you?
Well, there was a young guy named Patrick Mahomes that was 1 for 1 for 1 yard and a touchdown. That really smashed. I really liked Jordan Watkins for San Francisco.
That's who I was gonna say. Yeah. Damn it, Bruce is too sharp. Yeah. He always takes my shit. I was like, Rubio gives the obvious one, and then Bruce gives the good one.
He didn't have great quarterback play, but he had 6 targets. He looked great. He caught a 50-yarder on the opening drive, and he was out there taking mental reps before the game. So love to see that. Like 2 hours before the game, he was just getting ready to go. So I love to see that. And he was one of my favorites in college as well. So I like him a lot.
I love that, Bruce. He's someone that I've been trying to pick a little of at the end of my best ball drafts in my San Francisco stacks, because that team is cursed. And what I mean by cursed is they bring in receivers, they go down. I mean, who knows? They might have a completely different like receiving core at the end of the year than what they start with, because everyone's either gotten hurt or is hurt now. Like it's crazy. Like Ricky Pearsall was hurt to start training camp, and then Jennings goes down. Cowan's got the hamstring injury. Equiminius St. Brown done. I mean, like it's cursed, right, guys? 2 of their backup running backs are hurt. I mean, should I keep going? It's crazy. I don't know. San Francisco, they got to be cursed. I don't know. The Taj injury though. I mean, that was one of the low. Someone brought it up here. It was Chris. That was a low point right there. You definitely got to draft a little bit of Pollard, but
do we know the severity, JSU?
High ankle sprain. They just posted it. You were sleeping this morning, but high ankle sprain. No break though, Rubio. So it's probably, what did they give Shakir for high ankle? Like 5 weeks? So I bet you it's like 4 to 6. He's probably
Josh
out.
Downs had he wasn't right until like week 4 last year, and he did it. It's about, I think it's a true 8 to 10 week recovery because you're not the same right away either. I mean, those are high ankle sprains.
Do you remember Khalil Shakir started off hot last year and then he got injured like a few games in, and then he came back, but he was like never right, and he didn't really he had the high ankle sprain last year. And I don't know if it was the same leg as this year, but it really does feel like it's an injury that they say like 4 to 6 weeks is the recovery period, but you need like an extra 4 weeks after that before you even feel yourself again. And it's probably more with running backs, to be honest with you.
It's got to be. I mean, it's just got to be, JS. Yeah, it sucks too because I was kind of excited to watch that offense stuff. Obviously, I mean, in the end, all be all, losing a running back isn't going to kill that offense, but I know a lot of people are high on Spears and Pollard and the best ball stuff, and hopefully Spears comes back and is like good by week 5 or whatever. I know I like Spears too.
Me.
This is like one of those things too, where this will be a conversation for another day. I know you do shows all during the week and stuff. It's like, how much should this improve Pollard? For a brief amount of time, he'll be a really high quality RB1. They used him as an RB1 last year, like as a sole running back, but then you kind of lose that juice after 4 weeks. It's like a reverse suspension. It's like, he's going to drop off a little bit later in the year rather than, but it'll contribute a lot more in the beginning. That's for sure.
The thing though is you got to remember, he was doing that stuff with Mason Rudolph and Will Levis as his quarterback. Now he's got Cam Ward. If you think Cam Ward is better than those options, he's probably going to do even better than what he did. And he was pretty good when Spears was out for those stretches. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But boys, let's dive into the slate. It's only 2 games. We've done the single game and the 3 games. How do you guys want to go about it? Do you want to go game by game, or do you want to go position?
Well, it's only 2 games, JSU. So I think, do you think position by position would be better, Bruce? What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Position.
I like it. All right, let's start at the quarterback position. Then we were kind of talking about it. You can see the pick 6 up here on the board, DraftKings pick 6, which we'll try and fill one out as we go and then do the finishing touches at the end of the show. But Trey Lance at the top with 107.5 passing yards. That's the highest prop for a quarterback passing yards on pick 6. Then you got the Miami quarterbacks, Tyson Bagent. Those are the guys with the best props over on pick 6. But you got the 3 quarterbacks in New Orleans. It's kind of spread out. I think they said Heineke was going to start too for the Chargers. So I don't know what that means for Trey Lance, how much he's going to play. But right now he kind of looks like, and he looked good in the Hall of Fame game, Bruce. He kind of looks like the guy that people are going to flock to first.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, how much do they need to see out of Heineke? I think they really want to watch, see what Lance has. But what Dallas should have done last year, in the first couple of games, is run Lance out there a lot and see what he has. I think the Chargers will do that this game. Just play, just run him in the ground this preseason. That should be their goal, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, he's the quarterback that, they're not trying to, at this point, Taylor Heineke, the development is really with Trey Lance. Like, he was a high draft pick. Can they get him to be something? Justin Herbert, even though he's tough and he kind of fights and battles through injuries, he does get banged up a good amount, it feels like, throughout his NFL career. So if Herbert had to miss a couple games, we saw it last year with, teams like the Packers, right, where they had to go to their backup guys that other teams have kind of thrown aside. And they've shown, LaFleur showed that he did a pretty good job maybe developing Malik a little bit. And it kind of showed in those games that he could win with the backup quarterback. I think it's very key for some of these teams that at least they have someone that if the shit hit the fan and their main quarterback went out, who's the guy we go to? And Trey Lance seems like that guy. And it seems like Harbaugh is someone who could probably get the best out of Trey Lance. It felt that way to me after that Hall of Fame game performance, Rubio. And I mean, I would be trying to get him all the reps possible.
Yeah, and like you see it right there, he's the highest passing yardage prop on the slate. DJ Ugalele like didn't really do anything. He didn't look great in that fourth quarter either of the Hall of Fame game. Even the third quarter too, he was in a little bit. I kind of am skeptical of like, any other quarterback on this slate, right? So it's like I'm not going to trust the three-way split, and with the Saints. I don't really love the idea of how much time we get with Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers. I'm not a huge Ewers guy at all, so it's like I understand that. But like if I were to stick with like one of my quarterbacks today, I'm going to stick with Trey Lance a lot. And we know he can do it on the ground. That's a big thing. Not a lot of these other guys can really do the same thing that he can do with the fantasy upside. And the fact that he looked good last week is a huge boost, right? Like if he didn't look good last week, it would be a little bit more, unnerving. But right now, like I think there's a lot of confidence to be had with Trey Lance. He looked good last time out. Harbaugh was pumping him up on the sideline. Sure, everyone saw that. So yeah, I think Trey Lance would be number one for me here today.
And he's got the rushing upside, which is just so huge. When you have the dual threat, type of upside that Trey Lance has, that's what you want for fantasy. We always push those guys up a little bit more. Now, staying in that game, but on the other side, to me, this might be one of the worst situations to attack because I do think all three of these guys get a decent look. Rubio, just kind of staying with you on Rattler, Shook, and Haynard. I mean, I think New Orleans is such a mess. This is a situation that I think throughout the regular season, we might see all three of these guys start games at some point. I don't think it's a spot where like Tyler Shook is just going to come out and be the starter and be that way the whole season. I think all three of these guys get a chance. And I think they go with that. But from the preseason standpoint, I don't know if I want to mess with New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, you might want the defense more. Just according to all the reports and stuff, it sounds like Shuck's having a really tough time in camp right now. And look, Hainer and Rattler, you know what they are. I mean, they're just another guy in the NFL, it seems. Just another backup. I mean, I don't know.
I thought really Rattler was Mini Holmes.
I've always hated Rattler. You know what? The whole, what was it, the Netflix doc or whatever that was? Or was it Quarterback University? What the hell was that, Bruce, that I hated him from? I remember watching that shit. It was like 10 years ago almost. What was it?
I think it was like QBU or something.
Yeah, QBU. That's what it was. And he was an asshole then. He transferred, bounced around in college and stuff. Didn't really do anything there. And goes to the NFL somehow. I don't know how this guy, but you know what? He didn't do terrible, when he got the start. Like he looked like he can be a backup in the NFL, right? That's the goal. But he's going to end up being a starter potentially week one. But yeah, I mean, I think Rattler would probably be my favorite of the Saints bunch. Who knows what their clear plan is, right? That's the big thing. It sounds like all three guys are going to go. I know Bruce has the sheet up. What that time split kind of looks like, if you wanted to guess, like maybe a quarter and a half for Rattler, maybe a quarter and a half for Hainer, and then Shuck just, takes care of the rest. Louisville legend Shuck, by the way, one season. But it's just like one of those things where I don't trust any of these guys, JSU, but if I had to, if you put a gun to my head and said play one because, it's going to be relevant on the showdown, Rattler would probably be my guy as far as, just rhythm and talent and, comfortability with other guys in the system. And the reports on Shuck are discouraging to say the least early.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Rattler. The Shuck stuff is definitely it sounds rough, and they don't want it to sound as bad either. So the fact that it sounds that bad, is kind of telling because I'm sure they want to try and pump him up a little bit, at least give fans some excitement to start the year. But it's just going to be a brutal year. All year, probably for New Orleans. Bruce, any different take on the New Orleans situation, or do you kind of agree it's not the best spot, but if you had to choose the guy, it'd be Rattler?
Yeah, I'd agree. And, the Chargers have that game under their belt too, so defense will probably be, they're kind of settled in and ready to go. So I'm kind of leaning towards just staying away from it altogether, but yeah, Rattler's the better of the three guys there. if I had to play one. There's just there's some other good spots here. I really don't want to play Ewers or Wilson, but it's just two of them. So I think I'd rather play them than these New Orleans guys for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on and staying there on Ewers and Wilson. Obviously those two guys are pretty close. They're the next two highest passing yards props on pick 6 for Miami. I assume they get the bulk of the game. I don't know if anything's come out on if Tua is going to even get some snaps or like a drive. I have no idea. I can't imagine they give him more than a drive, if anything. I don't know why they would, with his injury issues and everything like that. But I assume, Ewers and Wilson get the bulk of the game. Bruce, if you had to choose between these two guys, who are you taking? Zach Wilson, who's at least, had starts in the NFL, or are you taking a shot on the Rook?
Yeah, I think Ewers will probably get more time, so I'd lean there. Having watched him like the last 2 years, it's tough at times, but he has some good receivers too. We'll get to those here in a little bit, but even at the back of the roster here, he's got some good solid guys that came from college. So yeah, I'd probably lean Ewers there, and just hope for the best. They've had a pretty rough joint practice this week, so I think maybe we'll see most of the backups on both sides in this one.
Yeah, the Bears are being a little too physical from all reports with them. A little too physical in the joint practices. Some people weren't loving that. But Rubio, same question to you on Wilson and Ewers. If you had to choose between these two guys, are you going with Ewers or Wilson? I know you're not a big fan of Ewers.
Yeah, it's like Ewers. I think he was the one who held Texas back last year as a Ohio State fan. I think running Ewers out there, and Arch Manning was probably concussed in that Ohio State game. I'm still convinced that he fumbled, and they never called it, by the way. But yeah, Ewers is going to be in the NFL. He'll bounce around for a few years until he can kind of learn how to face the pressure and step up in the pocket and just make good throws. I mean, that's his biggest problem. It's just like, you just watched some highlights of that Arizona State game and stuff where they kind of pissed down their leg. And it's just like, there's just a lack of a cutting edge with Ewers. And, who cares about it in preseason? It's going to be a lot of vanilla, a lot of basic stuff. But my view on him is like, he's just a mediocre quarterback, and wasn't he like projected a first round pick 2 years ago and came back? And it kind of sucks for him, but you know what? The NIL money, who cares actually anymore? Because he probably made a boatload last year, and now that you're in the NFL, I thought he had another year of eligibility. I'm shocked that some of these guys,
he could have came back.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that, Bruce, because what's the point of being a middling back?
Maybe he didn't care about the money as much. Maybe he just wanted to go to the league.
There was word that he was going to get a bag from Notre Dame if he came back. Texas kind of told him to move on just because we had Arch behind him.
Yeah. I was going to say, because he wasn't going to start for Texas this year. Everyone knows that. And I don't think Arch Manning is going to come out this year either. I mean, I don't think he should.
No, he's not.
But it's like interesting because with yours, it's like, okay, now you got to prove yourself, right? If you want to be an NFL quarterback, go out and do it. And he'll be the quarterback 3. I mean, unless he performs super bad. I mean, they're carrying 3 quarterbacks on the roster. It'll be Tua, it'll be Zach Wilson, it'll be Ewers. But until we see maybe something kind of comes out beforehand, I'm assuming a half and a half. That's looking like what pick 6 is projecting as well. Half for Wilson, half for Ewers. They're okay. Wilson, obviously, a lot more talent, a lot more experience. This is like the type of game he would thrive in, right? You got the weapons. You got plenty of guys who, I know this is preseason and stuff. You're not going to see like Tyreek Waddle and whoever, but you still got some talent. Like, who we love, Bruce. Like, we're going to talk about a bunch of these guys in a second, but Double E. I'll screw up the pronunciation. Can you pronounce it for me, Bruce? Eric
Uzakama. Yeah.
Uzakama. Yes. I was gonna mess that one up, but we got him, and then you got like NWI. I think Malik Washington, like, unless he is like kind of certified as like the main outside guy behind Tyreek and Waddle, which Westbrook Akine will be a guy. I know, Jay. There's been a lot of love for Malik Washington, but
yeah, I just don't think he's set
They're
in
stacking
stone
options,
for,
is all I
for
want
that
to say.
role.
And I would rather stack the, second string, third string guys with Wilson than the fourth string guys with Ewers. That's for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense, Rubio. I think that's a better point. Like, he's going to get the more talented guys out with them to start, I guess, is something that does make some sense here. Moving to the other side of that game, you got Tyson Bagent at 75.5 passing yards and Case Keenum at 52.5 passing yards. Case Keenum, another guy, kind of like Taylor Heineke in a way. We know exactly who Case Keenum is. They know who Case Keenum is. But the reports out of Bears camp is that Tyson Bagent has looked really good, or, good in all accounts. And he's going to have some weapons. This Bears offense does have some weapons. I know they're sitting a bunch of guys, but it still looks like they're going to play some of the rookies a little bit. I still question how much they actually get, but we'll see. You never know how much like live reps the coaches want their young guys, even their super talented guys. Like you were saying before, I think we went on, like Emeka Egbuka got some run. You know what I mean? Like, so you just, I guess, never know what these coaches are thinking. But I think he's interesting if we think he gets like a half, Rubio. Like, do we think he gets a half?
With Bagent, I mean, that would be interesting because he's been around, for a few years now.
Yeah.
And it should be noted, like, we think that all these guys, especially with Trey Lance number one, and then it's kind of every other guy. But I think Austin Reed will play. I mean, Austin Reed, you talk about. It was funny, Bruce, in my Florida League dynasty where I'm Florida Atlantic and NCAA. I looked at all of the passing records in that conference, and Austin Reed is, it was Bailey Zappi. I'm getting my Western Kentucky quarterbacks.
They're the same guy to me.
They're same school, same quarterback. You got two NFL products from
I was at the game, Patriots game, where the fans were going nuts, screaming for Zappi to come in, and then they put him in. I think it was against the Bears, wasn't it, on Monday Night Football? I think it was.
Was that the Mac Jones replaced?
Yeah, they were going nuts for Zappi to come in that game. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was wild. Bailey, that's crazy.
It was funny, like, it just shows you how quick reputations can change in the NFL, because I thought there was like a decent amount of love for like Zappi and stuff. And I know that I just completely sidetracked us with confusing Reed and Zappi a little bit. But like Austin Reed, I think will play without a doubt. I think whether that's the fourth quarter or not, how much we see of Keenum, that'll be interesting. But I think you're looking at a three-way split. I think the best case for Bagent would probably be around a half of game time. And there's no guarantee of that either. Like you said, I think Bagent is probably, bidding to be quarterback too. Wasn't he QB2 last year, right? So it's like, Case Keenum, obviously, with the experience and stuff. So it's like, who knows exactly what they do. I think you'll see three guys play for the Bears at the quarterback spot today. That's the main issue. It's just, it's tough to love anyone when you know it's going to be a three-way split.
Yeah, it does suck when you have situations where it's probably going to be two, and then you got a few situations where it's going to be three. But I do still think Bagent's probably one of the better, and he's going to get some of the better weapons too, like you were talking about with Wilson over Ewers. So that's just another thing to note. Bruce, anything else with the Chicago quarterback situation?
Yeah, that's I think it's going to be just a three-way split here. I don't know how much they want to see of Keenum, but they brought him in for a reason at least. So, and he's been a successful NFL quarterback in the past. So, I think they want to at least see him a little bit. So, yeah, I like Bagent a lot. Love his skills. He has some good talent here at the top of the wide receiver roster. But yeah, mostly going to stay away. There's some better QB plays that are going to get more time, I think, that I'm more interested in.
All right. Yeah, obviously we all agree Trey Lance is the number one. It's just the Miami situation, I think, is the other one, because you could see just a full half from both those guys, or for the most part. And then Chicago's a little bit up in the air. And New Orleans, for me, is the fourth spot, like, for sure, I think, if I had to pin them like that. But let's go to the running backs here. We'll go to the running backs, then we'll go back to the receivers here. On pick 6, you got the Miami guys at the top from a props perspective anyways. Jalen Wright at 30.5, Ollie Gordon at 29.5. I did see a report about one of the beats saying Jalen Wright's been running in quicksand. Don't know what's going on about that. They got the rookie and Ollie Gordon, who seems, interesting. And then you've got Monungai at 24.5. And our old friend, Kendra Miller, Rubio, our old friend, Kendra Miller, up here at 22.5, who's, I think, been impressing a little bit in camp, honestly. Few okay things I've heard possibly about Kendra Miller. We'll see if he can stay healthy, though, because that's always his issue anyways. But, Bruce, what are you doing here at the top, these Miami backs? Is this a situation like we had in Baltimore where those two Baltimore backs were just the clear and obvious plays?
Yeah, that's it's interesting for sure. Right. just got to wonder how much work Jalen Wright gets. They've just got the 3 guys behind Achane, so man, we might see a lot of Ollie Gordon as well, and Alexander Madison. So yeah, it's rough. I always tend to like the backup guys more than the starters. That's just part of my issue in preseason. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I kind of like Ollie Gordon just a little bit more here than Jalen Wright. But those guys are going to get volume for sure. There's only 3 of them. It's a pretty solid running back slate, to be honest. You have other than New Orleans again. You have 3 guys in Chicago as well, with Monungai, Travis Homer, who is kind of a special teams kind of guy. He's been decent in preseasons past, I guess, but he's okay. And then they have Ian Wheeler as well. So it's only those 3 guys, and then the Chargers. The Chargers look good. The backs looked really good last week. Haskins and Vidal, and then Raheem Sanders is back. So and Nyheim Hines also. So yeah, it's a really solid running back slate. I lean towards playing like a guy like Monungai, and these Chargers backs like Vidal, Raheem Sanders, who's getting a lot of camp buzz, and then Hassan Haskins as well, who's looked really good. But yeah, it's probably one of the better running back slates we've had in a little bit.
Yeah, it does feel like a pretty good running back slate. I'm kind of with you on, for this slate, Ollie Gordon over Jalen Wright. If I had to choose between them, Alexander Madison also getting some pump in camp too. Just another thing, he was getting some good buzz too. Another Miami running back here, and then I do think Monungai. I feel like they'd want to get him some live, some reps. Travis Homer, like you said, they know what they got in Travis Homer, more like a special teams guy, pass catcher, 2-minute drill type of guy. But yeah, I'm with you on the rookies. Rubio, are you Wright over Gordon, or are you with us on Gordon over Wright, and anything else with that situation?
Before Ollie Gordon became washed last year, he was like 10K every single slate, and 2 years ago especially, and then he kind of fell off a little bit last year. But I'm high on Ollie Gordon a lot. If there is a need for Jalen Wright to kind of prove himself, that's interesting. You would have thought that there'd be a chance that he could be co-RB1 basically in that offense. So, yeah, I mean, I think you see the rushing props. Obviously, you see them right there, 30.5, 29.5. Those are tall tasks in the preseason. Who was it who had a really big game yesterday? It was Corey Kiner, 45 yards on the ground with 10 carries. I know our guy VIP. VIP had a pick 6 winner, and Corey Kiner was a part of it and stuff. Corey Kiner, in perspective, just kind of like talking about him, it's like, look, his prop was 24.5. There was a lot of report that he would see a large workload, right? We don't really see that with like the Dolphins, but you just have to assume it, right? We don't know who is going to be the featured back, but like there's a decent chance that if you're like betting these, right, it's like, oh, I'm going to take the over on both. Well, one could be featured way more than the other, and that's kind of what we saw with the San Francisco 49ers yesterday. Like Corey Kiner was featured a lot more But I do think, like Bruce said, really good running back slate overall. I think Ollie Gordon for me would be one, Jalen Wright for me two. But I really kind of wanted to shout out Ian Wheeler. I think Ian Wheeler has got a lot of buzz last year, and I think he almost made the team even. I want to say that remember Hard Knocks, Ian Wheeler was kind of one of the featured players, I believe. And I'm actually going to be quite a bit interested in him. I know it's kind of like, not just your typical, like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and just play these guys. But, I mean, you have a decent chance that he get at least a quarter. You know what you got with, Travis Homer and stuff. Where the hell is Roshan? I haven't heard anything on it lately.
He hurt his foot, and they holding him out, I think, the past couple days.
Has he even done anything in camp? Because it's a new coaching staff. It kind of scares me.
You remember that they brought in Jamal Williams for a workout a couple days ago. I don't think they signed him, but they did sign someone else yesterday. I'm blanking on his name right now. I'll look it up. I doubt he's playing today, but yeah, Roshan's hurt.
They signed Britton Brown.
That's who it was. Yes.
Britton Brown. Okay. So I don't think he is going to see much work, you would think. That was 13 hours ago, Windy City.
That was literally yesterday. Yeah, I saw it yesterday. So
and I'm
put him in for 24 carries today. Is that what you're saying?
Is he even there, Bruce? Is he flying in right now? Like for the game? Is he flying in?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably. I know they had Deion Hankins, who's
they sent a private jet for Britton Brown. Get over here. We need you in this game. Let's go. It starts. So how many running backs do we project them to have? 3?
Should just be 3. They had Deion Hankins, who played for UTEP last year, I think. One of those Texas schools, and maybe Texas State. Yeah, Texas State. And he was always injured and got a concussion last week, and I think he's been in protocol, so I don't think he's going to go.
Okay, so we're projecting Monungai, Homer, and Wheeler as mainly, because I don't think they're playing Swift. Roshan's hurt, and like you said, Hankins concussion. So, okay, I can get on board, Rubio, with your Wheeler play. I can get on board with taking a shot. Maybe someone like him too. Maybe he gets like a decent chunk of the second half. Like you get like maybe not the whole second half, but like most of the second half, even if it's split a little with Homer or something like that. So I like that call. It's a good call. Anything with the New Orleans in the Chargers side? I mean, Kamani Vidal, I think is interesting. He's got, I think, the best props on pick 6 for the Chargers. You do have Haskins there. Cam Akers on the other side, Kendra Miller. Those are the guys for New Orleans with props right now. What are we doing with that game and those running backs specifically? Because, Kendra Miller, talent-wise, I think is probably the best guy, but I don't know. How much are they going to play Kendra Miller, Rubio?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's not guaranteed anything, and especially in this world. So I think these are like very relevant too. I don't want to gloss over like just the same situation because they are the showdown slate at 4:00, right? And I know a lot of people are going to be playing the showdown slate at 4:00. So I think Kendra Miller would be one of the better captain plays, even, if you wanted to kind of go him. And, we know he's capable in the passing game, just always injured, right? He's a best ball darling for the last 2 seasons, it feels. And this season, no one's taken him, which is probably his best chance to see the field this year if things go awry. So, yeah, I think Kendra Miller is going to be one of those guys where you just want to keep tabs on. I think he's got enough talent. If he can just stay healthy for an entire game, that would be impressive. But he's also got the talent to, break off a few long ones, catch some passes. I mean, you saw it with the Bills running backs yesterday, right? Like all of them did pretty well. I mean, even Ty Johnson and Ray Davis were looking good in that first half. Ray Davis hit an extra point. Can't believe you didn't lead off with that, JSU. I was just as excited for Ray Davis.
Honestly, I was going between the 70-yarder and Ray Davis. I was going to ask you if we get fantasy points for that in the regular season. Do we get Ray Davis kicking points if it happens?
You know what?
We should.
I did not even check because it was so irrelevant to the slate that I'm like,
there's no way we do. I'm going to say there's no way, but we should.
I actually lean that they should count that stat because why the hell not? If my kicker got a receiving touchdown, it should count. No, it did not count.
Told you.
I would
but I'm with
DraftKings
you. I agree.
Ray Davis, demand that point.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I want my 3 points or 1 point or whatever it is.
You know, I'm going to say it too. I thought using your emergency kicker situation there was a very sharp move by the Bills coaching staff. I don't usually say that, but I like practicing that. It had shades of Ocho Cinco, who did it when, hell, it could have been Mike Nugent or Shane Graham that was hurt, and Ocho Cinco kicked an extra point. So I like it.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when the kicker goes down. You need an extra point for the win. Those things aren't gimmies for a Ray Davis. Like you got to get him some live reps. I liked it too. I thought it was good too. Anything else, Bruce, in terms of New Orleans and the Chargers running back situations?
Yeah, I'm with Rubio here. I think Kendra Miller's a solid play. I think he's going to play a lot here. Play him until he gets injured. That's what I'd do. He's always had ankle problems all the way through college and now in the NFL. So just they kind of need to see what they have here. So I think he plays quite a bit. On the Chargers side, I really like Rocket Sanders. He's been one of my favorites through college. He's really fast for such a big guy. I think he's probably in the 220 range, and he actually had a better top speed last year than Travion Henderson. When they tracked that in some of the college games. So he's a really fun running back. Catch the ball out of the backfield too, and he's fully healthy. So I'm going to play some of him as well, just because Chargers love running the football. Harbaugh loves running the football, and I feel like they could get him the ball quite a bit here. Vidal, always a good play. Haskins as well, looked good in the first game. So yeah, Chargers backs are solid up there with Monungai and the Miami backs, Gordon and Wright and Madison.
All right, I like the Sanders call. Interesting there. Jake Swells in chat. What's going on, man? Happy Sunday. No NASCAR show. Won't have the NASCAR show, but do have the NASCAR content, Jake Swallows. So if you are a member, you will get that over at Rumpier Sports. Check that out. Matty Ice, my guy, what's going on? Josh D, ups and downs, but welcome. My boy, the Spaniard in chat. Chris, I don't think we're going to get this, but we should. That's another thing. Like that would make things very interesting with Travis Hunter. Do you guys think he'll get defensive anything? No way, right?
You get points for missed tackles.
By the way, that was Caleb Johnson. You are a Caleb Johnson hater. That was Caleb. Give him a little Heisman.
Damn right, JSU. 8 carries for 20 yards, baby. Let's go.
Give him a little Heisman stiff arm to the
2.5 yards per carry. Unless this Travis Hunter trying to tackle.
Yeah, I'm saying he gave the star a little Heisman.
You know what? He did hit the post there.
He did. It was nice too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about you instantly. I was like, Rubio hates Caleb Johnson. He just gave him the Heisman.
People hated on Najee Harris just to draft more Najee Harris.
I know. And now people are realizing that he legit has one eye right now. Like there was like the picture. It's like it showed like one eye was shut and one eye was open. It's like, dude, you need both eyes as a running back.
Man. It's been a month. That eye should be open. Come on.
That is not a good sign for Najee bag holders. Felix, if you're out there, I'm sorry, brother. You got to be a Najee bag holder. I'm sorry for my guy Felix right now, but smash the like button on the video here. 2-game slate for the NFL preseason. We got you covered at Rumpier Sports. We will have projections up for members, a playbook, everything like that, cores. So if you want to check us out, the Rumpier Premium will get you all sports. If you just want the single sport NFL, that'll get you the preseason pretty much for free. So you can sign up, get the NFL package, get you preseason as well. Get in the Discord. Make sure you join the Discord. Get in the NFL chat. Talk it up. Ask any questions you have about the slate. talk about ball, whatever you guys want. We're talking about it all throughout the day in there. Sign up. And if you're new and you've never checked us out before, JBC 100K Win will get you a free week with any monthly package you use it on. So JBC 100K Win, that promotion for any new people who want to try it out for a free week. It'll get you a free week with any monthly subscription that we have. So use that if you want to try us out for a free week. All right, let's get to the receivers here. Let's start off with the Bears and Luther Burden here at the top, 23.5 leads the props over at Pick 6. Well, him and Lambert Smith, but we'll start with the Bears. What are we doing with Chicago, guys? I know you didn't love Tyson Bagent just because they might play 3 quarterbacks and everything like that, but can we pick off some Bears, receivers? Rubio.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're pretty thin at wide receiver for the most part compared to, like the running backs, pretty thin, but like quarterback wise, you're just going to have 3 guys. If you wanted to make the case for, Tyler Scott, former Bearcat legend, by the way, UC, he's always been a guy where I'll always play him on a slate. You got Luther Burden, who you love a lot. Here's my thing with Burden. If all the other ones are sitting, right, if all the other guys, and he'll probably be, one of the top 3 wide receivers in that offense this season, he should be, right? What do you expect from him, right? Do you expect a long extended run? With Egbuka, you saw a big catch for 21 or 25 yards. And then, he didn't really do anything because, they've seen enough. He's got enough talent. Luther Burden could be in that same boat. He was a beast at Mizzou. We were clicking his name at 9K at times or 8K at times with Missouri, as Bruce would know. But yeah, I mean, I think if you were to take, 1 drive or 2 drives of Luther Burden, then you're kind of down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys potentially. I know that you have Miles Boykin highlighted there, Bruce. So there's a chance it could be 7, probably 8 guys after Luther Burden. So Tyler Scott would probably be one of my guys. Devin Duvernay should also note, similar to the KJ Hamler thing, which our guy K Reed was a big benefit there. It takes 1 ball, get a guy like that in space. And Duvernay has always been someone where, obviously kick returner and stuff. He probably will return kicks today, you think. There's your double dipper. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited to see if they get him involved. Maybe it balls down the field or whatever, but especially around the line of scrimmage. I could see myself going him or Tyler Scott for the most part here as far as my interest goes of the Bears receivers.
Yeah, I like to take on Burden because, like you said, they might only want to see a little bit from him. You know what I mean? They might just want to see just him do something, get him the ball a couple times. That's probably the case if Colston Loveland plays too. He's probably in the same boat where it's like, let's just get him the ball a couple times, see what he's got, and then pull him out. So I like that. I like going to the Devin Duvernay call. I was looking at him, so I like that you talked about him. Scott makes some sense. Bruce, anything else on the Bears receivers?
Yeah, I kind of like JP Richardson late. He's a little white slot receiver type. If you're playing late game guys, I think he's solid. Maurice Alexander too, former Philadelphia star in the USFL. He played for Detroit as well. I think he's been good in the preseason years past. So I think he's a solid play, especially short Chicago wide receiver room. I think he's a good play that probably will go overlooked.
All right, and stay there. Go to the other side with Miami, Bruce, and what you like there. I mean, Malik Washington at 15.5 receiving yards. Rubio kind of talked about him. They might already kind of have like his role set, but maybe he gets some run with Zach Wilson. And then I'm not even going to try and pronounce this dude's name that you were talking about earlier that Rubio couldn't even pronounce. But you got him at 19.5. You got Washington also at 21.5. What are you doing with these Miami receivers?
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to split them up into groups. Like if I play Zach Wilson, I'll play maybe some Malik Washington, maybe some Eric Ezukama. He's former Texas Tech great. He's a solid receiver. You have Taj Washington as well, who played at USC in Memphis. Really fast guy, and I think he played with Caleb as well when he was at USC. So I think he's solid. Probably play him with Zach Wilson. If I'm playing Ewers, I like Andrew Armstrong, the former Arkansas receiver. Just caught everything last year. I think he had well over 100 catches in college. Theo Weiss is a former 5-star receiver at Oklahoma and then Missouri. Also played on the same team with Luther Burden last year. So maybe they have a little rivalry this game here. So I like him with Ewers a lot. Weiss is an explosive player. And I'll have quite a bit of him and Ewers together.
Look at that. No ball right there from Bruce. I like the Armstrong call. I was looking at him. I like that a lot. Rubio, Miami, anything else to add on top of what Bruce already talked up with these receivers?
No, I like Theo Weiss, as he mentioned too. This guy kind of like thought, if you were to go maybe the second half guy. I mean, receivers the place to get different. I mean, that's the one thing that we can kind of say is like, no extremely tight spot outside maybe Los Angeles, right? Like, and we haven't talked about them just yet, but like, you're going to have a decent amount of guys at each position except for Los Angeles, and yeah, I can see myself playing some Weiss, Armstrong. I like those calls there, and I gotta go ahead and just put this out there: is Raheem Jarrett trash, Bruce? Because what pissed me off is I had so much Raheem Jarrett. I'm like, you know what? This is his chance. This is his chance to shine. We're gonna have a lot of great things from him. Where you're gonna see great ball. And I saw Ryan Miller get every catch, right? And I'm like, hey, cool. Maybe Raheem Jarrett's so far down the depth chart, he might get the second half run. Gets an end zone target. Okay, I mean, all right. Then Garrett Green caught a pass before him, a former West Virginia quarterback. Like, how pissed I was that Raheem Jarrett goose-egged while the former quarterback had multiple catches over his ass. I'm sorry, but was Raheem Jarrett that bad?
Yeah, he just needs to find something else to do. He looked horrible, and he was playing late into the game. I didn't think he would play that late into the game. I think he's about done there.
That's the worst part, Bruce, is that like I legitimately thought I just thought it was done after the first half. He did have a catch for 18 yards. I do remember that. I think that was in the third or fourth quarter, and he didn't goose egg. You talk about a guy I just jammed in. I was like, I'm gonna get over on all the Raheem Jarrett today because there's a receiver is gonna go off. I didn't expect it to be Ryan Miller. That set me up. I was just like, I was kind of full blown with momentum. We had double stacks with Joe Milton ready to go too, and Raheem Jarrett just falls flat like an empty soda that's been sitting on the counter for 3 weeks.
Yeah, Josh D, appreciate you waiting patiently for this question to be answered while Rubio goes on a crazy little rant on Raheem Jarrett of all people.
Cut his ass, Buck. Cut his ass.
Ewers or Lance tonight? Question mark. You guys, Ewers or Lance? Rubio, I know your answer. You're Lance for sure.
It's a chalk answer though. And Bruce just mentioned he's going to do some stacks with yours. So.
Yeah, I like Lance. Give me Lance every day of the week, but in tournaments to get a little bit different, I will have some Ewers just in case Lance doesn't do his thing.
All right, fair enough. Chargers situation. You got Lambert Smith, who's been the talk, young kid, and Trey Harris has kind of fallen down a lot since they signed Keenan Allen. Lambert Smith is emerging in camp. I feel like there's less Harris talk right now, Bruce. And what are we doing in terms of this game? I mean, Trey Harris played a decent amount later than I thought he was going to play in the Hall of Fame game, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to fill out what they have with him. So I think he'll still get quite a bit of run here, especially because they're so thin. They only have 7 guys probably. With Lambert Smith. Rice has been kind of banged up too. I saw in their practice reports this week that he was hobbled a bit. They are getting Luke Grimm back, so former Kansas great. He's a white receiver that is often injured as well. I think Harris and Lambert Smith are just really solid plays here. I might go back to Jaquay Jackson again, and Campbell as well. I don't even know how to say his first name, but
he got an end zone target too, Jaquay Jackson, last
he
game.
did.
It was so close too. It was like on the tip
Mhm.
of his fingers. It was just a little too much on it, but it was
His only target
nice.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hey,
yeah,
that's all right, Bruce. If they target him in the end zone again, we'll be happy with whatever outcome. We get a chance for 6. I'll be happy. So,
yeah. I don't mind going back to him. And then on the New Orleans side, they have more guys that are active just because they're gonna play some of their starters. I guess Shaheed is coming back from an injury last year. Then they have Bub Means, who's getting terrible practice reports. Cedric Wilson Jr., who's an NFL player. Kevin Austin Jr., former UFL great, and then Mason Tipton. He's getting great reports out of camp too. So I might play some Tipton here just because I like those little guys on the back of the depth chart here. So I like him quite a bit.
Mason Tipton got some decent burn at the end of the year last year too. They liked him, and he's a guy with speed, can take the top off, as I like to say, of the defense. I like the Tipton call. That was the guy I was kind of looking at. I know Bub Means Rubio had some. Was it preseason where he was kind of standing out a little bit more? But Bub Means had a little buzz last year for a little bit. Got some run. So, I mean, these guys have gotten some run in actual like regular season games last year. Now you get them in the preseason. I mean, I don't know how much Shaheed's going to play, but I feel like Means, Tipton, those guys could get some decent run. And on top of it, like with Olave's injury history, the fact that this team's going to be bad, like those are guys that, if you're the 4th, 5th receiver on this team, you could realistically get some real run towards the end of the year. So they definitely want to see what they have.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And we didn't even mention like Dante Pettis, who I think had a big game last year and then got hurt. Was it for the Bears, I believe? And you have some guys like that. I'm kind of a big fan of Dante Pettis, which I know kind of crazy, right? But I think
I feel like he's been in the league forever too.
He has, but like last season he lost out due to injury, but he looked really good. I don't know how he's looked so far. Still, again, my fault for waking up a little late. I was supposed to have all the projections done. My bad, guys. But I'm getting that up now. But like, I want to see what Dante Pettis is projected. Like, if there's been a word of mouth, on him over the last few weeks. But and then you got like Kevin Austin Jr., Mason Tipton, like you said. You got Bub Means, who he was supposed to be like decent last year, and if he's having a pretty poor camp, which I'm kind of shocked by, that's kind of I mean, one way to kind of deter that is just going to play well in a preseason game. But yeah, I mean, they got some talent. I think that's kind of the one case in point too. If you're a believer in Shuck, you can play like the back end of the depth chart guys, and Dante Pettis could be a good stack with Shuck. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, yeah, I'm more interested in the Los Angeles side. And, what Bruce was saying about, them having 7 guys. Last week they played 8, for example. Brendan Rice ain't making that team. I mean, you saw he barely played last week. If he's not going to play this week, see you Brendan Rice. And Keenan Allen gets signed. Lambert Smith looks like an absolute stud. And him and Trey Harris played the same amount of snaps for what it's worth. So they both got about, 39% of the snaps last week, which was 2nd and 3rd on the team, only behind Campbell. So Le'Veon Campbell. So it's interesting. Like, I think there is a lot of merit to, kind of jam in some of the Chargers here. I don't think you have to go multiple because Luke Grimm is back into the mix, right? So it's like one of those things where Luke Grimm, love him at Kansas. I think I would play him every damn time for Kansas whenever I do a stack with the Kansas guy. It would be Fairchild or Luke Grimm. I'd be pairing with Jalen Daniels at the time, or Jason Bean. Is Daniels still there, right?
Yeah. It was last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. Jalen Daniels is just crazy. But also just wanted to address this too. Chargers going to be the number one thing. HB cards, no NASCAR this week. I know Jake Swales asked this. Another road course. I think this is our 4th road course in like 7 weeks. And yeah, so sorry. Hopefully back to regular programming next week. I haven't seen the NFL schedule. But a little bit to be determined on the NASCAR show. Obviously, when NFL starts up, there won't be NASCAR shows during the regular season, but we'll try and get a couple more NASCAR shows before the end of the year.
So they're not turning left
There
today?
you go.
No, they're turning right a little bit too. And Bruce, what's crazy is you got one guy. I don't know that you guys don't follow NASCAR. This guy named SVG. There you go.
Just play SVG. There you go. I don't know who that is, but
you guys should have saw it. Did you guys see the guy who won yesterday, Zillish? He's like 18 years old, an amazing stud, sponsored by Red Bull, going to be one of the best drivers in NASCAR history. All right. This dude, did you see what happened to Connor Zillish? Got on top of his car to celebrate the win. Foot got trapped inside the window, fell flat on his head from the top of his car, got knocked out cold.
I got to watch this now.
Yeah, NASCAR driver. There you go.
He was 18.
He got knocked out cold, JSU. He was on the ground with the camera in Victory Lane, and he's okay now. I didn't want to say anything, but it was one of the craziest things. I was going to say, I was like, yeah, it had to be about Zillish, but crazy stuff, man. And he got transferred to the hospital, didn't even get to celebrate the win, got pulled out of the race today that he was going to do.
That sucks. That sucks. Crazy. He didn't even get to celebrate the win. That Connor Zillish is his name.
The worst part is the camera's on him while he's just passed out, looking like he got knocked out by Mike Tyson.
Well, he was the winner. Yeah, the camera was on him. He was the winner. Like, yeah.
The back of the camera just kind of like stayed on him. Like, is he gonna move? Like,
oh God.
Oh man, I just saw it.
That's our short NASCAR talk for the NFL.
He's gonna be one of the best drivers. Like, he's really already one of the best drivers. He's winning so many races.
How old is he? How old is he?
18 years old, and he's already 18. One of the best drivers. And then his moment that he's going to be remembered by for a few years is just getting knocked out.
Yes, 100%. He knocked himself out.
There's alternate angles of him falling out of his car.
Again,
I'm sure there's some great. I'm sure there's going to be some great videos coming.
Broke his collarbone. Awesome. I did not know that, Garrett, and I didn't realize. I saw the talks about it. It's going to be tough on him to drive without a collar. I did not realize it was confirmed broken. Damn, that sucks. All right, sorry to deter us with NASCAR.
No, you're good. You're good. You had to get a little NASCAR talk in real quick, so I'm cool with that. All right. Anything else here on the Chargers guys or the Saints guys? Bruce, anything else to add?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
All right. Let's go to the tight end position real quick. I did talk about Colson Loveland. Looks like he's one of the only tight ends with a prop, at least on picks. Oh, we got Gadsden down here at 15.5. Kind of disappointed last time out. Loveland, Gadsden, Bruce, anyone else you want to throw into the tight end pool? What do you think of those guys first, and then anyone else?
Yeah, I love going right back to Gadsden. They're really thin at tight end as well. They just signed Thomas Yasman from Utah. Utah always has good tight ends, and he's pretty solid. These other two guys, Fisk and Steve-O Klotz, blocked most of last week, so they probably need another receiver in there. I think they probably give Gadsden at least a few drives, and he's up with Loveland as one of the best pass catchers on the slate. So that's probably a solid play again. I don't mind going back to him. Another guy that I kind of like here is Steven Carlson for Chicago. Once Loveland comes out, they only have like 3 or 4 guys that are going to get run. So I think he's solid. And then Julian Hill for Miami he caught a lot of balls in college and has Wilson and Ewers throwing to him. Ewers love throwing to the tight ends in college. So I don't mind him either. It's a pretty wide open tight end slate after the 2 top guys in Gadsden and Loveland.
Yeah, I feel like besides Loveland and Gadsden, like if you start clicking some of these other guys' names, like Julian Hill, you're going to get some lower owned guys. So I like the pull on that. Rubio, anyone? Well, first of all, anyone like these top 2 guys? Do you not like these top 2 guys? And then who else? Like, are you throwing in the pool pretty much?
Yeah, just to kind of note, Tucker Fisk, got 51% of the snaps last week, right? But he's a fullback, so it's not going to be a huge target share ever at all. Will Dissly played 5 snaps. So if you're like, oh man, Gadsden didn't really do anything last week. Well, here's your bullish thing. Played 45% of the snaps. All right, 45% of the snaps of the Gadsden again. I would go back to that more and more. And I hope people kind of get put off by an underwhelming performance last time out. You have to play a tight end on the main slate. Less so in the showdown, right? But you have to play one on the main slate. And Gadsden would actually be my favorite over Colson Loveland. I like Loveland a lot. I mean, I really think he's going to be very effective during the season. But who knows, right? Like, I don't really know what their plan is. I think it's just going to be like the same thing as like, if you didn't like the rookie wide receivers, God, who am I missing on?
Luther Burden.
Yeah, Luther Burden. It's the same boat. Yeah, exactly. It's the same boat as like Luther Burden, where it's like, how much, if he does play, how much can you really expect? And are they really going to feed him, for a one drive, and then is he going to pay off the tag by then? Saw it with Darnell Washington yesterday. Just took the one catch for 19 yards at the end zone. But otherwise,
wait. I'm sorry. Who was that, Rubio? Say it again.
He was a core play. He was a core play until the Cowboys went super thin at tight end, and I went to Schoonmaker, and I was pissed off about that. I'll tell you that.
Did you see those hands, by the way? That dude is a monster, Rubio. That guy.
It's easy to play tight end when Mason Rudolph, your quarterback.
Dude, by the way, what's Pittsburgh going to do? They have like 3 tight ends that are actually viable, and Darnell Washington's the one that, like, if he can catch and run decent routes, like, you probably want out there the most because he's a beast at blocking.
I'm very curious about that, right? Because he's massive. I don't think people like
massive.
If you haven't watched him, like,
is he legit 6'8"? He's legit like 6'8".
They might be shorting him. They might be giving him the KD treatment.
You think so? You think he's 6'9", 6'10"? No way.
I wouldn't be shocked by that. I'm just saying, especially in cleats and shoulder pads and shit and a helmet.
Yeah, that's true.
7 foot, man.
That's true. But he's big. He's a big dude. Like,
they're gonna run a lot of goals.
Oh yeah, I know. They're gonna run a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets for sure. I'm just saying, like, it's funny that they traded for Jonnu, who was great last year. They got Freiermuth.
Yeah.
And they got Darnell Washington. It's like, man, what are you going to do with all these tight ends? Like, what are you going to do with all these guys? But, I think Loveland's like one of those guys. He's either going to make a big play, Rubio, and pay off, or he's going to be a guy you're tilted at because after 2 drives, he only has 1 catch for 5 yards or 10 yards, and he's out. Like,
that's usually the theme with him. And you know what? I got to shout out Bruce's take of Julian Hill. I would definitely back some Julian Hill too. The big thing is, like, I always do this to myself. I think Gadsden's going to be my number 1, but don't pigeonhole yourself. If you're doing 4 or 5 lineups or whatever, you don't have to stick with the same tight end because tight end is very volatile in preseason. It takes 1 catch in the end zone to completely change a slate. And a lot of these guys like Julian Hill will not be high end, but Gadsden could be 40%. And, you just want to be a little bit mindful of that. And I think tight end, is a good place to kind of go against the chalk. The chalk that you would be fading today would probably be Gadsden, and just kind of realize, mentally prepare yourself, ask yourself the question, do I want to fade 45% of Gadsden if he's going to be 40% owned, right? 45% of the snaps, if I can get 35% of the snaps for Julian Hill at no ownership. So, yeah, I think just food for thought on that end, right? Like, tight end's extremely volatile. It's a big reason why people are able to kind of jump to the top of the leaderboard, and they're doing it by getting different off the chalk.
Yeah, right, so they got rid of they got rid of Jonnu and Hill. Hill's the next guy in line, so behind Waller. So I think I think he's a solid play here. They probably want to see what they have in the preseason at least.
Darren Waller, how many over under does that man play? Like 3.5 games over under. How many games does he play this year?
Over.
Do you think he gets 4?
Yeah. I think he actually plays a lot, and I don't know how good he'll be, but I think he'll get it out.
I don't think he plays. What do you think, Bruce? Over under? What do you think?
Yeah,
does he get over?
I lean under. Yeah.
I'm going under. I'm with Bruce.
I hope so, because I want to see a lot of Julian Hill here. So I hope they're thinking the same thing.
I'm with you there. All right, let's move to defense here real quick. Bears, Chargers, Dolphins, Saints. I think the two best are probably the Chargers and the Bears with who they're facing, like the quarterbacks and stuff like that. I'd probably put them as the two best defenses. But how do you guys rank these defenses? Bruce, I'll throw it to you first.
Yeah, I'd lean Chargers first, and then the Bears. They dominated in joint practices this week, so I definitely like the Bears quite a bit. And Ewers likes to hold on to the football. In college, he held on way too long just to process defenses and such. So, that can play to his detriment sometimes. And then Zach Wilson, he loves to throw interceptions too. So, yeah, I'd go Chargers and then Bears, just like you.
Yeah, I like the Bears. I mean, new D coordinator Dennis Allen, he's going to have those guys. The Bears defense is going to be good this year. It's all going to come down to can Ben Johnson turn the offense around, because I very much believe the Bears defense fully healthy is going to be good. We'll see what happens with them. But Rubio, I'm with Bruce. I think I go Bears, then Chargers, then the rest. Where are you at?
Yeah, actually toe and toe with you guys there. I think I have a worst bet I ever made yesterday was the 49ers jumped up 9. I sat there. I'm like, look, like Bo Nix isn't going to play that much more. And he didn't play much more. And I bet the 49ers money line at plus money. And I was like, why are they plus money? They're up 9-0. They gave up 30 unanswered. But like that's just the reality of it too. It's just like, especially when Bruce alluded to it, these guys have played each other all week. In joint practices and stuff, you kind of want to just go with the team that's been bullying the other one all week. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Bears, and I think that Quinn Ewers, like I said, not high on him, and I'm not high on any of the Saints quarterbacks for the time being either. So, I think it's a two-way at the top for me, Chargers and Bears, but Bears will get the nod because Quinn Ewers is going to make mistakes today.
So, if you guys had to bet one of these two games, you've got the Chargers at. Well, it was 1.5. I think it's moved to 2.5 on DK now. And I think the Bears are 2.5-point favorites too. Are you guys taking any of these for a bet? Rubio, if you got to bet one of these teams or one of these games, you got a side you like?
And a side, oh man, I'll just go with the Bears. If the reports have been that the Miami Dolphins have been playing, that the Bears are too physical and the beat writers and all that, Miami Dolphins are soft. The Bears are not. Allegedly,
I liked it.
So I'd go to the Bears.
I like it. Bruce, you have a side you go to?
Same thing. I saw a tweet that showed one of the Bears tackling the Dolphins guy, and the Chicago beat writer or the Miami beat writer said, "This isn't the flex you think it is. They're not supposed to be tackling to the ground or something." Something like that. It's,
and then that Bears beat writer Bruce today tweeted out, I hope they're okay with us tackling them today or something like that. So they're going back and forth, those beat writers. So I mean, beat writers, focus on your fucking job, okay? How about that? Do your damn job, all right? How about for once that, as opposed to bickering back and forth with each other? Do your damn job. Report on the team.
Yeah.
Actually give us some news for once. How about that? It's true. They were really good last year. And I think they'll be even, honestly, I think they're going to be better this year with Dennis Allen. I think they're going to be better. I think they've improved, to be honest with you. So I like the Bears a ton. All right, guys, do you want to build a quick pick six and then we'll get out of here? If you haven't already, smash that like button on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel for us. Check us out at Rumpier Sports. Pick six on DraftKings. We're going to do, well, at least get 3 picks in there. Maybe we'll do the full. Rubio, do you want to start us off with a pick that you like?
Yeah, go ahead and take me to let's do the wide receivers actually real quick. All right, go ahead. Do I want to vulture us, Bruce? Do I want to take my boy Azukanama? God damn it, I fucked that one up. Azukanama? I'm going to take Azukanama over 19.5 receiving yards. I'm bullish on him. Very talented. Obviously played him a lot in DFS, but I think he's been in the league now for 3 years, and we've been playing him in preseason for 3 years now. So I'm going to go with him over 19.5 receiving yards here.
Bruce?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with a receiver. I'm going to go with Trey Harris over 21.5.
Trey
I think
Harris. Okay.
get some good run, and usually with him, it can only take one reception for him to get over that 21.5. So with the receiver room being thin, I think he gets some good run today.
Okay, I like that call. Let's see here. What do I want to do here? I want to take a passing prop, but the problem is I don't really love the quarterbacks outside of Trey Lance. What do I want to do here? Let's go with Manungai. I'm going to go Manungai more than 24.5 rushing yards here. I like Manungai to get over that number. Do we want to stick with 3 or do we want to go with 4?
I want one more.
All right, do it.
Colton Loveland under 18.5. That's a tall ask. Yeah, he might. That. I don't know the playing time, right? Like, if you here's how I'm going to break it down, right? And he could be more featured today. They could want to feed him the ball. I know Tyler Warren did pretty well and stuff. It's like his game prop for week 1 would probably be around 40.5, 44.5, or whatever. And like, he might not even get a quarter today. It's 18.5. Like, he can get 2 catches for 18 yards for all I care. But I'll take the under 18.5 receiving yards for him here.
All right, Bruce. Anything else?
No, I do think one of Means or Tipton could go over those receiving yards, just because both are deep threats, kind of fighting for that same spot in the Saints rotation. But I don't have any lean as to which one's going to do it. Both of those guys play the same role for the Saints offense. So, if you want to take a shot on another guy, I kind of lean Tipton there, but
Tipton more, like Bub Means less. Bruce, you want to go Tipton more, Bub Means less?
No, probably just Tipton more.
Okay.
Like I feel like one of those guys is going to go over because they're kind of fighting for that spot, and both are speedsters that get their catches down the field. So, but I'd lean Tipton if I was going to pick one.
All right, so here we go. We've got Azukanama, or butchered that name, 19.5 receiving yards over. Trey Harris, 21.5 receiving yards over. Kyle Manungai, 24.5 rushing yards over. Colston Loveland, 18.5 receiving yards under. And Mason Tipton, 19.5 receiving yards over there on DraftKings pick 6. All right, that's going to do it for this show, guys. Hope you enjoyed that NFL preseason show. Stay on this channel because at 12 o'clock we will have an MLB show for you guys at 12 Eastern time for the MLB slate. So if you're playing MLB today, check that out at 12 Eastern and get on over to Rumpier Sports. We did drop our NFL packages, so they are all up, single sport, and then you got the full Rumpier Premium if you want all the sports. Sign up. If you're a new member, you've never tried us out, you want to try us out, you can use that code JBC100KWin. It will get you a free week with any monthly subscription. That's JBC100KWin. And good luck in your DraftKings preseason DFS and betting. For Bruce, Rubio Dimes, and myself, JSU, we'll catch you guys next Thursday. Until then, we're out of here. Peace.